My name is Riley Dixon, and this is my business law course project. So I decided to go with option 2 in our course project options, and this is the one where I chose 5 current events, and I'm going to describe one major course concept for each current event. So let's jump right into it. Okay, the first course concept that we're going to be going over is social responsibility and business ethics, and those were covered in Chapter 3. So, the name of the article that I found on this topic was As AI Gains a Workplace Foothold, U.S. Tries to Make Sure Workers Do Not Get Left Behind. With the increasing development of AI, companies have started pushing workers to gain technological skills so that they aren't left behind. This is obviously geared toward some older folks. Companies with good social responsibility are pushing them to obtain opportunities so that they can fit in with the company like they used to. Connecticut is actually working to create one of the country's first AI academies. So, this would be an all online program and it should be 100% free. And this would give people who maybe don't have such a great technological background the opportunity to go and understand some basic tech programs and software programs. And this would just allow them to have opportunities that they wouldn't if they didn't take these classes. So, this is really important to business law because our world is constantly evolving, and if people don't learn the new ways of our world, then they will sadly be left behind. So, our social responsibility is to catch everybody up and allow everybody to have opportunities by pushing them to get out of their comfort zone and maybe take a class on computers or computer science. So, I found that article super interesting, and you can find the resources right here. It was published on June 29th of 2024. Okay, so the next thing I did was on liability, and we discussed that in chapter 5. So the article that I found was titled Tesla Recalls 2400 Cybertrucks, and this is their 6th callback for the pickup just this year. So the trucks were recalled because of a faulty part that could lead to power outages and potential car accidents. In the past year, over 27,000 trucks have been recalled due to a faulty back camera, which can lead to extreme issues, especially because the car is self-driving. So, as many of you know, Teslas do drive themselves and they are battery powered cars, so they run off of sensors and cameras. So, if a sensor or a camera is messed up, this is obviously going to cause a bit of trouble because that's how they function. So that would definitely not be good. This is related to business law because companies often recall items to protect themselves from legal trouble or potential lawsuit. So Tesla definitely did the right thing in removing these cars from the roads and allowing them to say, hey, I made a mistake, and hopefully fix it. So this is the resource for that article. It was published on November 13th of 2024, and I found it super interesting. The next thing I studied was on contracts, and they are talked about in chapter 7 of our textbook. And the article that I read was titled Boeing Defense Mess Shows How Weak Contracting Can Wreck a Business. So, due to many fixed price contracts, the company continues to lose money because they did not diligently manage contracts. This has caused a negative 43% operating margin and the company to lose over $2.4 billion in just one quarter, which is a crazy amount of money. After reading this, I learned that contracting is so important in business law because it sets clear boundaries and limitations on companies. When strong contracts are put into place, it is very beneficial. However, on the contrary, like in Boeing's case, weak contracts can kill a company. Contracts also define rights and set expectations, so making them is essential for a smooth business operations. This was the link to the article, and it was published on October 13th of 2024. This was also a super interesting article. So the next topic is on unfair trade practices, and we talked about those in chapter 12 of our textbook. Our article was titled, FTC Announces Crackdown on Deceptive AI Claims and Schemes. So, 5 law enforcement actions have been put into place so that companies can no longer use AI to trick and deceive their customers. This includes reviews left by AI, so like false 5-star reviews, or a company claiming to sell AI lawyer services, or using AI to help scam customers. The sad thing about this is it often happens to people who are over the age of 60 because they are not super tech savvy, as we talked about earlier, and they tend to be deceived, which is definitely not okay. So all 3 of the examples that I had mentioned earlier are illegal, and the FTC obviously hopes to put an end to this in the coming months. This is important to business law because if companies take advantage of consumers and no one steps in to help, then they will continue to profit off of the misfortune of consumers. And the sad thing about it is they won't stop. Like, if we do not say, hey, you have to stop, then they won't stop because they're making money off of this, they're getting good reviews off of this, and obviously it's promoting their business, but not for all the right reasons. So, in business law, addressing unfair trade practices is vital to fostering trust, ensuring transparency, and preventing exploitation. This was the link to that article, and it was published on September 25th of 2024. The final article that I'm going to talk about is on international trade, and we talked about international trade in chapter 13 of our textbook. So, the demand for items such as medical gear and electronics during the pandemic has shifted back to its normal supply and demand. So, obviously, during the pandemic, we were mass producing things such as masks and hand sanitizer and cleaning products, and now we can go back to our normal supply of masks and cleaning products and stuff like that. So, the global economy is slowly shifting back to pre COVID-19 numbers, and obviously, we hope it continues to do so because our economy was not so great during COVID-19. This is so important in business law because the global economy determines how the economy of each and every country is going to fluctuate. So, legal frameworks ensure fairness, they protect stakeholders, and they promote stable trade relations. So, a good global economy, it just makes everyone's life easier because it makes things run smoother. This was the resource to that article, and it was published in sometime of January 2024. Okay, so that is all that I have prepared. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it.